My name is Brent Shores with Accu Cull. Today I'm going to go over a new product called the Accu Cull Grip Saver, which is designed to cover and protect your fishing rod handles. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to install it and its functions and sizes for your fishing rod handle needs. The Accu Cull Grip Saver comes in three sizes. We have a 12-inch size, which you see here, a 16-inch size, which you see here, and a 25-inch size, which you see here. The reason for the three sizes is because your rod varies on cork sizes. Now, like for example, this rod right here actually only has 9.25 inches of cork here and 2.25 inches of cork here. So basically, I only need 11.5 inches of cork to cover this whole rod. So a 12-inch piece will do the trick. And I'm going to demonstrate how to assemble, cut, measure, and what is ideal to install on your fishing rod handle. Now, in this one here, I'm going to use black on this rod. And the reason why I'm using black on this fishing rod is because this is designed for a heavier action rod. So when I'm fishing in a boat, in a tournament, or for fun, I can look down in the water, look down on my deck of my boat, and I can have my rods labeled. Like for example, in some cases, like this is my drop shot rod, I make those blue handles. Now I'm going to go over this because this has a different type of design because cork goes past the reel foot, and I'm going to go over how to install that. And then, but in this case, I'm going to do this on this rod because what happened here is that the cork is broke, and I need to repair it. And as you can see here, the cork is starting to break off. Now I'm not going to go too hard. Now cork is very expensive, but if I'd have had this on here before I used the rod, then this cork would have never chipped and broke. And if I decide to replace all my rods with a different brand or whatever, I could sell this rod because the cork is nice and clean. This product is a polyolefin product. It is a heat shrink, has a no slip grip, as you can see here in the design. It's designed to not be able to slip out of your hand. It is waterproof, so therefore when you put it over your cork, it does seal it. So therefore it protects it. You can wash it, clean it, whatever, without having to do any damage to your existing fishing rod. Now, in this case, I'm going to measure the amount that I need to cut. Now, this back part of the fishing rod right here is exactly 9 1/8. Now, I recommend when you cut the amount of Accu Cull Grip Saver to put over the amount that you need to protect, I say cut an extra 1/4 inch so you allow some overhang. Okay? So the overhang that I'm going to allow on this, I'm going to measure this grip saver. 9 1/8 was it. So if I cut this 9 3/8, I allow myself to have a 1/4 inch of overhang on each side. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this 9 3/8. Get started here. It's a pretty easy product to work with. That leftover part, which will go up here in the front of the fishing rod, as you can see here, I have the back part done. So I take the 1 inch in diameter. Most bass rods are 1 inch in diameter or whatever. Some may be a little bit more, but this will cover a little bit more than 1 inch in diameter. Salmon steelhead rods will require most of the longer length. Some of the bass flipping rods and some of their power rods will have a little more handle and cork. So you always want to measure, I repeat, measure the amount of space that you want to cover and protect before buying. Again, 12-inch size, 16-inch size, or 25-inch size. Salmon steelhead guys and some offshore fishermen will probably want to buy the bigger size. The average angler inshore fisherman will probably go anywhere from 12 to 16-inch pieces. Okay, so now I've measured, cut the amount that I need to cover and overlap. Okay, so now, and that looks really good on this fishing rod. I'm going to take a heat gun. Now this is a heat gun. A normal hair dryer will work. You want to have temperatures in essence of 110 degrees. That's when it starts shrinking in diameter. It does not shrink in length, only in diameter. So when you start heating this up, try to heat it all the way around to allow all sizes so the fibers lock it in place. So right now, I've got what I want to cover, and I start heating it up. I'm going to heat this whole thing one more time to make sure I locked in all the fibers in place so that doesn't slip or move up and down and have any loose bumps or whatever. I want to make sure I heated it up real good so it cinches down real tight. All right, that feels good already. Nice looking fit, huh? Looks really good. As you can see, has a nice thing. Has a nice feel in your hand too when you're out fishing. It's a little warm still, but of course it'll cool off. Then I have the front half. So basically, I want to measure, remember, with a little bit of overlap on the front of the rod. So this part is 2 inches even of cork. So if I do it 2 1/4 inches long, that allows me to have an 1/8 inch overhang on each side, which on the grooves, see how it rolls down on each side? It'll lock in. Now some people ask me, what if I want to cover the knuckle? Okay, so that the knuckle doesn't slip off and on, because I guess on some fishing rods, vibrations in the boat causes this to slip. You can more than welcome, once you put your reel on, slide it up like this. Lock it into place, and then you can get a piece. Now remember, in this case, if you want to secure the knuckle of your reel, you just need to buy a bigger piece, like a 16-inch piece instead of a 12. And then this is actually only going to cover, you only need a 3-inch piece. How long is this one? Well, that's just about there too. That's just so funny. That would actually cover it. This is 2 3/4 inches long. And as you can see here, it covers past the knuckle. So therefore, it won't back off or anything. And it will form around grooves. It will suck down. And I will show you on this one what I'm talking about. But personally, I don't like to cover the knuckle because I do find myself switching out reels. One, because I may have heavier line on the other or lighter line. And I want to, depending on your application when you're out fishing, you know, I don't like to cut. You'd have to physically cut this off in order to get the reel out. So remember, once you've got it on, it stays secure. You can cut it right back off. So therefore, oh yeah, that's nice. So therefore, now this piece here, like I said, is only 2 inches. So I want to cut this piece 2 1/4. So I allow a little overhang. Then on this, because, you know, granted I may have my reel on there, I will go down the long end of the fishing rod, slide it down, and now I have the cork I want to cover. All right, so I look and see where I want it to go, where I want it to cover to. Then I heat it up. Now it's all done. Now I've got my whole rod protected. The cork inside here is all snug and tight underneath the grip. I don't have to go out and have it immediately repaired. You can buy this off the shelf at probably most stores, hopefully soon. And other than that, that's it in a nutshell. Feels good. Nice grip, nice no slip grip. Good setup. Now, on my drop shot rod, as you can see here, my reel foot needs to go in here. All right, and the cork goes past it, which is kind of common in some rods. Everybody's got their own rod design. Okay, in this case, now I'm going to take my blue because I use that color for my drop shot rods. I'm going to measure where I need to cover. So I'm going to allow myself to have a little over. Now this cork handle here is exactly 6.5 inches long. Okay, so all I need to do is cut it 6 3/4. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to measure 6 3/4. Now the front half can be done by the rest of this rod. Okay, I'll slide this over. What I need to do. All right, so I know what I need to cover here. Okay, I'm gonna heat this up. Now that is done, and it formed around where the reel foot goes in. All I gotta do is now take it, I'm gonna cut a little slit where my reel foot needs to go in. Okay, you could probably, I'm gonna use a razor blade. On the last one that I did, I used my pocket knife or my boat knife that I had in my boat. But all I'm doing is cutting. There we go. Now, I just put my reel foot right in there. Slide it in, knuckle it down, and I'm done. Easy peasy. Now, this part, do I have the exact length I need to cover? It's probably just a hair long. So the exact amount I need to cover here is 5 inches. I need to cut it 5 1/4. Awesome. Slide it over. Get it where I want it. And heat it on. We are done. So basically, as you can see how simple this is, all I did was cut a little gap so that I could put my reel foot in. Then I'll lock it down. Other than that, now I've got my rods back in good shape with a good no slip grip on there. Easy identifiable marked rods. It comes in 5 colors, which is yellow, green, blue, black, and red. Red is my crankbait rod. Power. So, other than that, this is how it's done. Pretty dang simple. Pretty reliable. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.